So one of the most common questions that I get asked here at Build It Labs is, what is Mindstorms? And first of all, you shouldn't be confusing Mindstorms with Minecraft. Minecraft is a video game and fun and occasionally instructional, but this is Mindstorms. Mindstorms is a platform that LEGO Education has made to help kids learn, usually elementary and middle school kids, learn how to program and learn some engineering as well. And this is the heart of Mindstorms. There are several different versions of this, but this is the Mindstorms EV3. It is a Lego brick. It's got some connections that you can connect Legos to, but inside is a CPU. And what you can do is, on a computer, write a program that you download to this, and you can connect different things like this motor to the brick and make basically robots. It's kind of amazing, and what I'm going to show you today is a basic robot and some of the simple things that you can do and some of the lessons that kids can learn using the Mindstorms platform. So we are going to now start by looking at the LEGO Mindstorms programming environment. We've built the robot, and now we need to program it to do our bidding. So we're going to open this up. This is created by LEGO Education. It is a visual programming language. So what we're going to do is start a new file, new project, new program, open it up, and what you are presented with is a blank slate. Basically, it's just a white screen with a list of the available commands that you can tell the robot to use down here at the bottom of the screen. And they're grouped in different buckets. These are usually motion, these are logic controls, sensor controls, more math and decision tree, decision objects. But what we want to first make this do is we're going to make this robot drive forward until it senses something in front of it, and then we're going to have it tell us if that something is blue or if it is red. Fairly basic program that we can knock out pretty quick. So we're going to use this, which is a block that moves both of the motors that it's attached to at the same time. And those motors are attached to ports A and B, and we just turned them on. And I want to turn them off, so stopping the robot when the robot senses something in front of it. So I attached an ultrasonic sensor, which is kind of like a sonar, and it's going to look in front of it, and if it senses something that is less than 1.2 inches in front of it, and that was on sensor port 1, it's going to say, okay, I see nothing in front of me for 50 inches, and as it approaches something, the inches that it detects in front of it is going to shrink. At some point it will be 1.2 inches or less in front of it. What I want it to do then is stop. So we're then going to take the same motor control, and whereas we turned it on before, we're going to turn it off now. And once again, that was motors A and B. Unfortunately, I think the next sensor that I want to use, the color sensor, needs to be a little closer than 1.2 inches away. But the distance sensor is not sensitive enough to get close enough. So what I'm going to have it do is, after it realizes it's 1.2 inches away, I'm going to have it go actually just a little bit further. A and B. I'm going to have it go for rotations. We're going to rotate those motors another 0.2 rotations. So it gets it, it's going to stop when it sees something 1.2 inches in front of it, but that 1.2 has a variability around it, so I want to make sure it gets close enough for the other sensor to see what it's doing. So I'm going to have it inch a little closer by moving both motors 0.2 more rotations. Then I will have it wait just for a little bit so that we can make sure, wait for time this time, wait 1 second. But then we're going to have it make a decision, and this is going to be a very easy decision for it to make. We are going to say, look on sensor 2. Sensor 2 is going to have a color sensor. Measure the color that you see there, and if that color is blue, then what I want you to do is play a sound file.
Blue.
That says the word blue. But if the sensor is red, play a sound file that says the word
Red.
red. And then that will be our program. So we're going to connect using a USB cable, connect the robot to this computer, and I will download this using this download button to the robot, and we'll see if this works. So what I have here is the robot that I just built, and as you can see, I've added a couple of things to the front of it. This is a color sensor, which is actually a light sensor, but it can sense colors as well. And this is a distance sensor, a lot like a sonar. So those are attached to the ports here. These are attached to the motors here that will run the wheels. And back here are the sensor ports that are attached to these two sensors. So what I have in addition to that is a notebook with some colored construction paper. So we're going to see if this robot can tell the difference, can see when the notebook is in front of it, and can tell the difference between a red and a blue piece of paper that is placed in front of it. So let's see if we can set this up here. Good, and we'll start with, that is blue. Okay, blue piece of paper in front of it. It's powering up. You can see by the red light on the robot that it is powering up, and should be ready any second now. Okay, there it is. So I'm going to place this in front of it. So we said it will detect the color in front of it. So it gets blue right, but that's not the only test we gave it. We said it should be able to tell the difference between blue and red. Let's try that.
Red.
Ah, and it got red as well. So what it did was it drove up, and using the distance sensor realized how close it was. It stopped and allowed the color sensor to detect the color that was in front of it. So program worked, and that in a nutshell is what Mindstorms is. It is very tactile. Kids get to build something physical, and we do teach a lot of those engineering concepts as we're building it, and then they switch over to programming and they learn a lot of basic programming concepts as well. So in a nutshell, Mindstorms is a great way to teach kids a lot of different things in a way that gets them involved and hands-on, and it's tough for them to not love it, honestly.